Hello, welcome back to Senior to Scratch, the podcast where we do deep dive into all things golf, from the fairways to the simulators. Well, it snowed quite a bit this weekend, and with temperatures hovering around minus 15°C, it looks like we've got some time before we're back on the course in the spring. So in the meantime, let's talk about golf simulators. Are they a blessing or a curse? Now, if you look at my simulator play this year, I'm better than a scratch golfer, so I guess this podcast is finished. I accomplished my goal, right? Well, if you couldn't tell, I was being a little bit facetious there. But it does raise a great question. How much can we actually trust simulator golf? Is it a real measure of our game, or just a winter fantasy? Let's break it down. First off, let's talk about scoring. My simulator league lasted 10 rounds in the winter, and when you calculate a handicap based off of the best three, which is what the handicap formula tells you to do, I would be sitting around a plus handicap. After all, I shot my best 3 rounds are 33 each. So I think that would have been 3 under, 3 under, and 2 under. But does that mean I'll step outside in the spring and dominate the course? Well, not so fast. Here's the reality. Golf simulators eliminate a ton of real-world variables that make the game harder. You get perfect lies every time. The ball's always sitting up perfectly on our mat. No buried lies in the rough, no uneven ground, no awkward stances, no wind. So those things all are a huge factor in real-life golf. Trees and bushes, no problem. Most simulators that we play don't penalize us for clipping tree branches or bushes or even being in some of the fescue. They're pretty much non-existent. The third thing is our 10-foot gimme circle. It's really hard to 3-putt these greens. If you hit greens in regulation, you should get par at the worst. I mean, that being said, when you're just outside of 10 feet, it's almost impossible to make a putt. So I think in the end, though, the putting is much easier on the simulator just because you don't have that pressure of those knee knockers, 6-footers or 5-footers coming back. Fourth thing is there's no lost balls, no OB. Now that being said, I have seen a few balls getting lost in a simulator somewhere in crevices or bouncing straight back at us. But in general, in the real world, a bad slice can end up in someone's backyard, or worse, cost you a penalty stroke. On a simulator, you can just reload without these consequences. Number 5, I think bunker shots are very different on a simulator than in real life. Bunker shots are basically just another pitch shot on the simulator. No fried eggs, no buried lies, just a standard fairway pitch shot. That's way easier than real bunker play, if you know what I mean. I think, if I'm rattling things off, another thing would be water hazards aren't so hazardous. I've seen balls somehow stop on 45-degree slopes that should feed straight into a water hazard. That doesn't happen in real life, as we all know. Okay, now that I've spent the last few minutes trashing simulators, let's talk about the simulator benefits. Big ones, actually. Number 1 is keeping the swing fluid. The biggest advantage is keeping your swing loose in the winter. No matter how much workout or practice drills you do at home, nothing compares to actually swinging a club regularly. Simulators prevent that dreaded early season rust. Secondly, and this is something that applied to me specifically, but if you're making adjustments, working on your takeaway, trying to shallow the club, whatever it happens to be, with me it was dropping my hands earlier and maintaining height, whatever it is, simulators are a great place to do it. The reason? Well, there's no pressure to revert to your old swing and swing habits when you're on the course just to score well or keep the ball in play. On the course, when things go sideways, you instinctively go back to what's comfortable. In a simulator, I feel you can commit to changes without these consequences. The third cool thing is the data. Data. One of the most underrated benefits of a simulator is all the statistics you can get on your shots. Club speed, ball speed, launch angle, spin rate, you name it. That feedback is invaluable for dialing in your game and making real improvements. The fourth thing is practicing a pre-shot routine. This one might surprise you, but I actually found that my pre-shot routine improved because of the simulator. Early on, I'd play a practice round on a Sunday, tweaking my swing the whole time, and inevitably end up shooting worse than I did during league play. And the difference was during league play, I actually stuck to a pre-shot routine. If you could take that discipline into the real world, you're ahead of the game. And fifth, keeping the competitive fire burning. At the end of the day, golf is competitive. Whether you're playing for score, for pride, or for a few bucks with your buddies, that competitive juice makes the game fun. In my simulator league, we played Stableford in groups of 4, and nobody wanted to let their team down. That pressure helps simulate some of the feel of a real round. So what's the verdict? Are simulators a blessing or a curse? Well, they're absolutely a blessing when it comes to maintaining your swing, working on changes, keeping your competitive edge in the winter. But they're a curse if you start believing your simulator scores are a true reflection of your ability on the course. The real test? Well, when this god-awful snow melts and you step onto that first tee in the spring, that's when you know what really stuck. Well, that's it for today's short episode of Senior to Scratch. If you've been grinding away on the simulator this winter, let me know. Do you think it helped or hurt your game? Hit me up in the comments or on social media. As always, keep swinging, keep grinding, and I'll see you next time on Senior to Scratch.